right, Brad, thank you so much for joining. Really appreciate it. We are recording our podcast, The Mastery on Mindset, talking about entrepreneurship, investing with all kind of successful people in their field. And what you've built, I have a lot of respect for what you build as an entrepreneur and investor. You have 7 kids. I know how it is as a dad, how it is to raise your kids, building a business. So I would love to deep dive with you more into how you've done this, what's your mindset, and how you mastered this game. I know you also are an expert in sales. So if you can tell us a little bit more about how you've all built this, but maybe just start at the beginning, who you are and how you've built this empire.
Okay, well, again, I think you're giving me more credit than I deserve. I don't think it's an empire yet. I think it's on the way. However, it is a couple of 8-figure companies and soon to be 9, hopefully.
All right.
I started out when I was 30 years old. I'm 55 now. I started out by helping someone and liking the way it felt. And so I decided to quit my job and help people learn to make more money by selling and, influence, persuasion, things of that nature. So I was going to train people.
Mm-hmm.
Found out very quickly that it wasn't as effective as it used to be when I worked at a company, and I couldn't figure out why. So I did some research and found out that there was 4 ingredients necessary to actually train people. And the 4 ingredients are good content, repetition, practice, and accountability. So I had a choice. I could either give it up or figure out how to solve for that. And so I invented a platform that was on the internet back when there was nothing on the internet and developed it from there. But ultimately it started to work. And I went out and started showing it to other people that also had the best ways of doing things and wanted to train people. Grant Cardone, Tony Robbins, Zig Ziglar, John Maxwell, Tom Hopkins, Brian Tracy, like all the big names that were out there. So I went and I just focused on closing those guys to use my software. And that kind of started to take hold after about 8 years and, built it up to a 8-figure business. That led to other, obviously, opportunities of building a brand. So in reality, building a brand is now, responsible for launching, 3 other 8-figure businesses.
Yep.
So, I mean, again, I wish I could take credit and be like, I had it all planned out from day one, but I didn't. I just started out because I wanted to help people make more money and, kept my eyes open, kept my ears open, paid attention, listened for feedback, made adjustments.
Yeah.
I think if there's people listening to this podcast looking for a way to guarantee be successful, there's 3 things that I've discovered.
Okay.
Number 1, your mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If your mindset's not right, nothing's going to be. The next one would be your skill sets. What are your talents? What are you good at? And then the third one would be your habits.
Mm-hmm.
So if your mindset's right, it is possible to run positively in the wrong direction. So you now need your mindset to be right, but then you also need skills, right? You need to be good at something.
Mm-hmm.
If your mindset and your skill sets are right, but your habits are garbage, you're probably not going anywhere either. So those 3 areas, if you want to focus and be successful, focus on your mindset, get that right. Focus on your skill set, get that right, and then focus on your habits. You master those 3, you're done. You're guaranteed to win.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. And if you make that, for example, your mindset, how do you get that right from your perspective? What can people do in a practical way to get their mindset right? Or what are you doing?
Well, you got to get your mindset right by number 1, knocking out some wins, start working out, start eating right, start reading books, start developing yourself ultimately. But, a mindset really is cultivated over time, to make small tweaks. I would say that if you really want to develop your mindset, pick up a book called Mindset by Carol Dweck as an example, and start with that. Read it 2 or 3 times and do the exercises that are in there. And next thing you know, you'll start to be like, wait a minute, this starts to make sense. Yep. Because the goal is you're going to want to try to get a positive, abundant mindset.
Mm-hmm.
That's really what you're looking for.
And I like what you were saying about the small wins, right? To see, okay, Can you make that more specific of what was that for you? Which kind of small wins did you have that you got the confidence maybe to make sure, okay, I'm good at this. I'm a great entrepreneur. I know what I'm doing. Or how did that work for you?
Well, well, I mean, small wins would be like, for example, brushing your teeth. You know, everyone can brush their teeth. It's not that big of a deal. Most people would say, well, how's that a win? Well, again, dude, try not brushing your teeth and see what happens. So brushing your teeth, although it be a very small, insignificant thing, is actually very significant, and it is a win. But most people don't recognize it as a win. They recognize it as a habit. Well, if you can recognize intentional wins like that, it starts to actually, you know, make you a winner, because confidence is the memory of success.
Yeah.
So really, if you want to be more confident, you just need to start, you know, creating more wins. And the wins will start, you know, allowing you to focus on, you know, positivity and abundance and things like that.
Yeah.
So I mean, at the end of the day, I would say that, like, developing a mindset focused on growth and abundance involves, you know, cultivating habits and perspectives that encourage positivity,
Yeah.
resilience, and almost like a can-do attitude. You know, you can nurture your mindset in a way that causes you to be scarce or abundant. You know, fixed or growth is actually what Carol Dweck talks about, the two different kinds.
Yeah.
So if you practice gratitude, gratitude shifts your focus from what you lack to what you have. So it's about focusing and appreciating on something that you've got and acknowledging, you know, whatever that is, you know, in your life, which increases over time, and eventually you're focused on satisfaction, you know, and that's optimism. You know, you can start writing down things you're grateful for, you know, and then why you're grateful for them, and then you read them, you know, big or little. You start to read them, you know, and that starts to, you know, do the same thing.
Yeah. Thanks for
Absolutely.
sharing that. And
Why?
this, yeah,
Go ahead.
sorry. The second topic you talked about skill sets. What kind of skill sets you say an entrepreneur or an investor or maybe people, what are the maybe the 3 or 5 skill sets that you say, okay, you need to have those skill sets and that's how you can become successful?
Well, number one, the ability to communicate.
Yeah.
Okay. Communication is key. The ability to sell,
Yeah.
you know, sales, persuasion, influence. Those are key. I would say the skill of marketing
Yeah.
is key. But I mean, I think if you really your goal is to become wealthy, I think it requires a combination of skill, strategy, and mindset. So although there's not a guaranteed formula, there's some things that you can learn and master that will definitely and significantly increase your likelihood of financial success. One would be financial literacy.
Yeah.
You know, understanding how money works. That's the foundation of building wealth. It involves, you know, knowing how to manage your finances, invest intelligently, make informed decisions, you know, et cetera, et cetera. Do a financial audit as an example. See where your money goes. Open up a spreadsheet. Just track it. You know what I mean? But that's one very big skill set I think people should focus on. Another one would just be entrepreneurial thinking. You know, recognizing and acting upon opportunities.
Yeah.
Most people don't act. They don't take anything. So if they want to start doing that more often, you know, just each week, just jot down at least a business idea that you want to take action on. You know,
Sure.
you
That's
know,
also how I started also in sales and marketing. I started in the corporate, but I always knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur. My dad is an entrepreneur, my grandfather. So that was something I think what's in my DNA. And I'm happy that I took the chance and start building my own company. But the financial part or being that entrepreneur, it's not everything that you learn at school, right? It's also sometimes just making sure you make those steps in a practical way. How was that for you, or how did it start for you? If you go back, did you with school and for the rest building your own venture, or how did you learn that and making sure you had that confidence to become the person who you are today?
well, I think I had to learn it over time, but ultimately, you know, I wasn't afraid for some reason. Maybe there was something broken with me, but I didn't fear losing. I didn't fear looking stupid. I didn't fear the judgment of others. And I think that's, you know, critical to my success. A lot of people are so afraid of doing anything because of other people's opinions that they don't do anything. So I pulled triggers, you know. I was great at sales. I had confidence, you know. Maybe it was arrogance, but you know, it felt like confidence back then.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I was willing to pull the trigger, and a lot of people aren't.
But what do you mean with broken, or what's, I don't know if you can expand on that, but what was it then that you were not afraid? Because a lot of people, and also if I talk for myself, when you're younger, right, you maybe don't have that confidence, or maybe you need to learn things. What was that for you then? Or what was the reason that you were able to don't care about what people were thinking?
Well, I mean, I got kicked out when I was 16. So literally, I've been on my own since I was 16 years old. And I think even before then, I was left to my own device, meaning my parents didn't coddle me. They didn't really do much for me in that regard. They made sure I had food. They you know, they gave me a house, a roof over my head, but they would be gone all day and night. And when they got home, they'd go to sleep, you know. They'd say hi here and there, and we'd go on a, you know, trip once in a while here and there. So I mean, to me, it was just a normal childhood. It wasn't like a neglect. But we were definitely, and I say we because I had brothers and sisters, we were definitely left to figure it out. Like, you know, I was left with my brothers and sisters that were all older than me, and you know, they'd leave a pizza or some money, and we'd figure it out. So ever since I was little, I just had to figure it out.
Mm.
I got to the point where I figured it out on my own because my brothers and sisters were always older than me. So they would always take the money, a slice of pizza, and they'd leave anyway. So now I found myself at home by myself, figuring it out. So I just, you know, grew a pair, you know. My dad taught me to survive by by ultimately leaving me alone and making me figure it out for myself. Does that make sense?
No, it makes sense. And it's great that you use it in your advantage, but maybe there are a lot of people out there who don't know how to then translate it in the right way. And some maybe go in another direction and maybe do all kind of stupid stuff.
They
But
do.
right.
And,
And it happens,
so did
right?
I. Yeah, but so
Yeah.
did I. The difference is, you know, I didn't kill myself over it. I didn't beat myself up. You know, I'm not worried about looking stupid, feeling stupid, and failing like a lot of people are. A lot of people, you know, they're so insecure and they're so worried about offending somebody, or they're so worried about not living up to the expectations of others, and you know, their fear. It's actually called allodoxophobia if you want to look it up.
Mm.
It's actually a real thing. Allodoxophobia. It's the fear of other people's opinion.
Mm.
I don't have that.
That's huge. That because if you don't have that, you are able to execute and make the chances and taking the risk. So, but I think I think almost 80% does have that, right? I think so. A lot
Most
of
people have it.
most people have it, right? What
Yes.
was it? What was it for you to make your first million? What was that? From my perspective, it's not about making that first million. It's the person who you need to become to make that first million, right? It's about, I think, to your point, the mindset, the skill set, all those things. Can you maybe describe that for you, how that was, or what changed for you in that life, or the transition that you made to become that person who were able to make that first million?
You know, I have heard you have to be before you become. You have to figure out who do you need to be in order to do that, which is technically definitely a way to get there.
Mm-hmm.
However, really all you have to do is get good at solving problems.
Mm.
Um, learn how to sell, close, and persuade people.
Mm.
And then, you know, meet as many people as you can.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the more hands you shake, the more money you make. You want to get rich, money comes from relationships. Start making a bunch of them.
Mm.
Nurture those relationships, care for those relationships, and leverage those relationships. That's how you make your first million.
Mm.
Sell something. You know, pick something to sell. You don't even have to sell your own thing. Like if you don't have a business, you don't have a product, you don't have a service, go sell somebody else's.
Yeah.
And whether you're selling something for $500 or $5 million,
Mm.
dude, it's the same effort. So pick something expensive. So when you actually sell something, you make $1 million in commission.
Yeah. And I can remember, I think it was from a previous conversation that you said it was not selling, yes, but it's more about what you said, solving problems. It's not about me, right? I think a lot of people also have the mindset, I need to make that million or it's all about me. But just if you think about that other person and how you can bring real value to them, that change, right? That's a big one.
Yeah, but it doesn't even have to be real value. Like at the end of the day, take a piece of paper and say, can you get one person to give you $1 million? That's how you make $1 million. They go, well, no, I don't know how to do that. Can you get 10 people to give you $100,000? You go, well, no, I don't know how to do that. Can you get 100 people to give you $10,000? You're like, well, I don't know how to do that. Can you get 1,000 people to give you $100?
Mm-hmm.
Now we're getting closer, right? They're like, no, that's only 100,000. You'd have to get 1,000 people to give you $1,000. You're like, now we're getting closer. I can start to feel like maybe I can do something for $1,000. Well, can you get 10,000 people to give you $100? Or, dude, can you get 100,000 people to give you $10? So, how much value do you got to give for $10? So it's either solve really big problems and make a lot with a few people, or solve really small problems, but for a whole bunch of people.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you still got to sell it. Dude, if anybody listening to this says, Brad, I need to be a millionaire, I would say 1,000%, then stop talking and start acting towards that. Like, pick what you want to do and start moving towards it. Because again, if you don't believe it's possible, it's probably not. That's your mindset.
Right.
If you know how to sell, influence, and persuade, it's not even very difficult. Okay, so that is your skill set.
Mm-hmm.
And then your habits. That is every day, wake up and swing the freaking axe, man. Go to work, pay attention, build relationships, shake hands, follow up, prospect, do the normal everyday blocking and tackling, and you will be a millionaire.
Yeah.
But you have to believe it,
Yeah.
you have to see it. You know what I'm saying? If I always tell people, listen, it doesn't matter who says you can't, as long as you're not the one saying it.
Yeah.
Okay? Because if you're thinking it's not possible, bro, it's not really possible. So fix your mind, get good at something. You know how you get good at something? You practice, you drill, practice, and rehearse. It's not rocket science. I wish it was. I wish that I could look back and be like, no wonder I wasn't successful for all those years. I didn't have the formula. I didn't know. But in reality, yes, I did. I just wasn't believing that it could be as easy as it is. You guys, if you want to be a millionaire, okay, you need to make $1 million, obviously. One time make $1 million. Are you a millionaire? Yeah. Spend $1 right after that. Are you a millionaire? Not anymore, because you have 999,000 now. So when someone says a millionaire, first of all, you probably should raise your thinking, because a million's not everything you think it is.
No, it's.
Yeah, you want to be at least a decamillionaire, first of all. Second of all, to make $1 million is no more difficult for you than making $10 million.
Yeah.
So you might as well think bigger to begin with.
Yeah.
Go after 10 million, and then it's the same formula. Sell something. You need to sell something. That's the bottom line. People want to be successful, sell something. I've never met anybody ever that's financially successful that isn't selling something to somebody or didn't already do it.
Yeah, all they have that skill set, right? They know how to convince people or influence or sell something. What was your biggest challenge in the last year? Because you're great in building all this, but what was for you the biggest challenge in building or managing everything?
My biggest challenge in the last year has been finding other people. It's been getting out of my own way in the leadership and culture areas. You know what I mean? I'm my own mistake. Like, in other words, they always say, hey, you don't want to be the smartest person in the room.
Yeah.
Well, usually I am.
Mm-hmm. So you need to be in other rooms.
Yeah, I need to find other people that can help me build. Because let me tell you something. I've went as far as I can go by myself. Now I need a team.
What are you looking for? What kind of team? What's right, your expertise with sales and marketing and all your skill set? What kind of people are you looking for?
people that can sell, close, persuade, people that are positive, optimistic, abundant, everything I just explained, people that that have good habits. Like, there's some people that are like, massively overweight, Well, again, I'm not really against anybody who's massively overweight, but that tells me, dude, you can't even control what goes in your mouth. So like your habits aren't probably very good. You don't have to have a six-pack, but you can't be like way. You ever see those people that are like seriously overweight? Like, no offense to them. Again, dude, listen, I understand there's challenges, but you can't control what goes in your mouth. So I'm not looking for that. What I'm looking for is somebody that has some self-control. They have some self-confidence. They have some self-worth. They have some values. They have ethics. They have integrity, and they're wanting opportunities because, dude, I'm an opportunity machine. Opportunities attract to me. I create opportunities out of nothing. I'm creating opportunities talking to you on your podcast. There's someone that's going to listen to this that will be emailing me and DMing me.
That's how it works.
I know. So again, it's like I have opportunities coming out my freaking yin yang. At the end of the day, I need execution squads. I have dreams. I have visions, and I can go, bam, $1 billion idea. I need someone that can execute. So someone will take that plan and now go execute. So again, I'm looking for, the question was, what's my biggest challenge? My biggest challenge is finding a team, because usually the team that I want isn't looking for a job. Yeah. The team that are like this, they're already doing their own thing, or they're already helping somebody else. So it's like you have to freaking literally steal them. You got to headhunt them. You got to lure them away.
What is your big plan for? Because you build this, you LightSpeed, super successful. What is your North Star? What's your bigger vision?
Well, again, I want to make LightSpeed a little bit more relevant and prevalent in the industry. A lot of people don't even know what I do when they see me on social media. I got millions of followers, and none of them know what I do. But I want to focus in and create opportunities for people. So like I like to say, listen, if you're not making $200,000 or $300,000, go to my website, apply to work with me, and I'll give you the damn job, and I'll train you. Like, it's not rocket science. I can show anyone how to make a couple $100,000 a year. And to me, that's where life really begins, right? So my friends, not all of them, but some of them, they say, Brad, you're looking to help all the broke people. They don't have any money. Go help the rich people. Figure out how to help the rich people. They can afford your services. But I don't think they need my help. If you're already rich, why you need my help? So it's like it's catch-22. I want to help people that really, don't have a bunch of money, but are willing to do the work. Because if you show me a person that's willing to do what I tell them to do, they're willing to do the work, they're willing to put in the 40, 60 hours a week minimum, they're willing to make the sacrifices, they're willing to start brushing their damn teeth, they're willing to start reading books, they're willing to start working out, they're willing to start learning and growing and developing. Dude, listen, I can almost guarantee that they can make $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 a year relatively quickly.
Sure.
Now, again, what's quickly mean? I don't know, year or two. But if someone goes, oh yeah, I don't want to do it, and I don't want to wait a year. Oh, well then, dude, listen, see,
you're not the right person.
Exactly. Like you're delusional, bro. You're not the right person. You got to go fix your thinking, man. It's not an overnight game. Getting rich overnight is possible.
Yeah.
It's just not likely. Like, dude, first of all, it takes a good month or two to change your habits. And we got to break your habits first. We got to create new habits. That takes another 90 days to get started. Now we're already 6 months into it, dude, and you're just shaking off all the crap and the funk in your brain that's been keeping you down and making you believe what you believe. Because in reality, bro, if we really want to change your behavior, we have to change your beliefs.
Yeah, but I think there's still a big group who's maybe in between that. I think the really rich people, it's depending on what you're offering, is still there. I think people need help and also want to grow to the next level. There's always a next level. The really broke people, yeah, that's the question. But you need to find that right group. I also get on a daily basis, I think 15, 20 people are reaching out to me because they know I have my fund. They're all pitching me. There's a lot of crap. There are also 10% what's good and the team that works. But yeah, it's finding the right people who believe and who you can help scale. So that's where your big North Star is to build your company even bigger and then work with
Companies.
Sorry?
Companies.
Companies. Yeah. Okay. What are the other companies? So you have Lightspeed. What are those other portfolio companies? Where are you?
Well, I normally would say I have a bunch of RV dealerships, but they're not they're not going very well. I'm not running those. They might end up not making it for all I know. But no, I have RV dealerships. I have financial services. I have solar company. I have merchant services, credit card processing. I've got consulting. I've got, believe it or not, a speaking business. So there's three main ones that I focus on.
All right.
Lightspeed,
Yeah.
Real Financial, and Real Merchant Services.
Is that something which you built from scratch, those three companies, or did you bought them and invested, or did you build those three
I built them from scratch.
Okay.
I should have bought them.
Yeah.
Now that I'm smarter, buying companies is smarter than building companies.
Yeah. And
But it's too late. I already built them. So now I want to grow them. I want to grow them up big to where they're titans in the industry.
Yeah.
Lightspeed's the oldest one at 24 years. The other ones are only a couple years old. You know, it took me 24 years to build Lightspeed up to an 8-figure company. I built these two to an 8-figure company just with a personal brand. So believe it or not, if someone came to me right now and they said, Brad, how do I get really successful? And I've got some money,
Yeah.
I would show them how to build a personal brand and then use that personal brand to drive anything they want. So again, I mean, you know, throughout the year, I might do little conferences. I am going to do a personal branding 1-day thing down in my training center here in Las Vegas, so people can come in. We'll train all day, then we'll go to dinner and smoke cigars.
Awesome.
Hang out, build relationships, and then I'll teach somebody and I'll show them exactly step by step what I do every day to put out my social media. If they just repeat that, dude, more than likely they're going to get the same result. Now, can anyone in the world be you know, cool or liked? Not by everybody in the world, no. So the people that like me may not like you, bro. They might look at you and be like, dude, I don't like that guy, dude. He talks like he's from another country, and you know, he you know, I don't he's not cool like Brad. Well, there's people that'll like you that'll say that I'm not cool like you. They don't like me. So the point is there's an audience for everybody.
Yeah.
But the problem with people is they won't speak up because they're worried about the haters and the hate.
Yeah.
So they can't find their audience. They're so worried about the hate that they can't find the love. Make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
Like don't worry about the hate. The haters, dude, they go away. They talk shit and then they go away.
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, yeah, but nobody likes me because listen to all this hate. No, dude, don't focus on the hate. There are people that will like you. Everyone will have a following if they just put out the content. Yeah. And it may be a bunch of wackos following you. Why? Because you're a damn wacko. Who knows? The bottom line, though, is you will find an audience.
Community, right?
You will find a community, dude, and you can monetize that community. You don't even need a very big one.
And that I like that, right? I don't know if you can remember, but before this, building 1.5, and that's sister company Fortitude, that grew out to the biggest soccer community in the world, right? We have 70 million followers. We have billion views on that channel. Working a lot with athletes. My business partner, a pro former soccer player, building personal brands for soccer players. That's what we did and still are doing. But also sometimes people come to me and say, okay, Danny, right, I want to build my brand, don't know where to start. We are also actually helping some soccer players, but that's maybe something what I would love to discuss with you also offline and see what we can do with that. But for the rest, what's your take on the personal brand? What did it bring you in those last couple of years in terms of business or other opportunities? How important is it for you?
Well, it's extremely important, you know. Now that I'm looking back, man, it's probably the most valuable thing I've done. I haven't really leveraged it like I'm about to, but but it has been responsible for a lot of different opportunities, and those opportunities turn into relationships, and those relationships turn into revenue. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I would say a personal brand is the most powerful tool anyone could possess.
100%. I agree. That's also the reason why we are now sitting here, right? It's and you meet so many people because you're there. You show what you're doing, and you're talking and giving young entrepreneurs advice. Brad, I want to thank you for your time. It was great to get you to know you a little bit better, right? Sharing the people who you are and what you're doing, and having those 3 businesses. I love your perspective on how you're approaching life as a great person, and with the mindset, the skill set, and everything what comes with that, and making sure you just push through and don't think too much about all those other people, and having that fear, right? I think that will stop too much people. So hopefully people can learn from that and just do it and execute on it, instead of keep analyzing things, and in the end nothing will happen. So I want to thank you for that. Appreciate your time. So where can people follow you, or if they want to learn more about what you're doing?
Well, they can go to bradlea.com, LEA. That'll tell you everything I'm doing. Or you can just, Google me, Brad Lea, LEA.
Awesome.
When you were talking, closing it down, I was thinking to myself, and I was thinking of a baby trying to walk. If babies quit every time they fell down, nobody would be walking. But babies don't care about your opinion. They're not embarrassed to walk out in front of a room naked. They don't know that they're not supposed to be naked. They don't understand allodoxophobia yet. We haven't schooled them. We haven't educated them that they need to feel, bad yet. They think they can fly. They stand on the table and still wear a cape and think they can fly. We're the ones, adults are the ones that ruin the child's imagination. Now, again, can they fly? Well, no, we don't want them to be hurt, so we think we're protecting them. But imagine if those children, every time they fell, we laughed at them, and pretty soon they just stopped getting up.
Yeah.
No one would walk. So, dude, when you said that's, never give up, guys, listen, stop worrying about what everybody else thinks. Start worrying about what you think. What does that mean? Relationships are the most important thing. If you want more money, get more relationships. And the most important relationship you can have right now, besides the one with God, is the one you have with yourself. Okay, so go out there and fix your self-worth, and your net worth will follow.
Love this, man. That's a great way to end this podcast. I love how you compare it with the baby, and just that they don't care, and that we don't laugh at them, but just support each other, making sure we get success as a team, and just making some magic here. Thanks again. I really appreciate it, Ben. And
My pleasure.
catch up soon.
Appreciate you.